My name is Rebecca Haven. A little bit about me. This is my third time living at the Catherine McAuley Center. A lot of people that don't grow up in super stable households, when they find themselves needing assistance and they don't have parents to fall back on, we need a place like Catherine McAuley Center so I can say, Mom, I need to come home for a little bit. And so that's what I found myself in that situation again for the third time, and they welcomed me right back into the doors. Let me see if I can do something about this. So recently, my best friend and I saw the Barbie movie. I hope a lot of you have seen that movie. It really touched my heart. Surprisingly, I was not expecting it. There was a monologue done in that movie, and I'm going to start by reading that monologue. It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the time. You have to be a career woman, but also be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane. But if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be a part of a sisterhood. But always stand out and always be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us. This seemingly innocuous movie brought me to tears. I held my best friend's hand as we cried through this monologue. I know this woman, and every woman, deeply, and I have my own monologue. For me, being a little girl meant that when a boy hurt me on the playground, it means that he likes me. But if he hurt me as a woman, it was my responsibility to leave with just the clothes on my back. And if you don't leave after the first punch, then I am the fool. Even though you told me if he hit me, it means that he likes me. Being a little girl meant being sexualized and molested before the age of 5. It meant being groomed by my own family member and sought out as a victim by every pedophile that I met. It meant being scared to tell anyone for fear of what the predator might do to me or my family. And when you obey their demands and wait 20 years to tell anyone what was done to you, it means not being believed. Being an adolescent female, it meant being raped at 13 by a 35-year-old man and forced to turn him in, only to stand trial and be scrutinized by his lawyer for wearing a bathing suit. It meant sitting through this scrutiny with no advocate. And when he received his 10-year sentence, it meant feeling guilty that I ruined his life. Being a girl meant that I started starving myself at age 7, prompted by my own mother that taught me how to stick my fingers down my throat, and continuing these behaviors well into my 30s. It meant bottoming out at 100 pounds a mere 8 years ago. Being a woman meant struggling to embrace a new curvy body through layers and layers of diet culture and fat shaming. Being a woman meant leaving my toxic environment with a waning hope and coming to land at the Catherine McAuley Center. It meant cutting ties with everything that was comfortable and stumbling through new friendships. Being a woman meant carving out healing without guidance. It meant firing bad therapists, breaking up with bad boyfriends, and reinventing myself every month with everything I learned from the month before. Now, being a woman means surrounding myself with women that strive for healing and growth. It means starting over at almost 40 and using every tool in my toolkit to fight the things that do not belong in my boundary. Being a woman means reminding myself of my worth throughout every day and guarding my mental health with everything I've got. At first, I was alone, and I fought alone. But now I know that as women, no matter what gender we begin as, we are fighting together. It is our job to lift each other up, to band together, and stand for what is just for women. It's time to stop criticizing and backbiting other women. When we see a woman fall, it is our job to pick her up and remind her of who she is: a survivor, a warrior, a victor.
Thank you, Becca, for sharing that with us. That was amazing.